Let's talk about the JSON files that you can use to export and import HID remapper configurations. Normally, when you're working on your HID remapper configuration, you either start from scratch or maybe load the configuration from the device if you're modifying an existing configuration. Then you make some changes, save them to your HID remapper, test the changes, possibly iterate until you have a configuration that you're happy with. But storing the configuration on your HID remapper is not the only way. Sometimes it's useful to be able to save the configuration on your computer, maybe because you want to share it with someone, maybe you want to program another HID remapper with the same configuration later, maybe you want to switch between multiple configurations, or maybe you just want a backup for safekeeping. As it turns out, it is possible to export the current configuration and save it as a JSON file on your computer. You can then take that file and send it to someone or just keep it for later. You can export the current configuration by clicking the Export JSON button in the Actions tab. This will download a file. You can later upload that file using the Import JSON button. That way you can restore a saved configuration. You can keep multiple JSON files with different configurations on your computer. An important thing to note here is that the Export JSON button saves the configuration as it is currently visible on this configuration interface. It is not necessarily the same configuration that is currently active on your HID remapper device. If you want to back up the current configuration from your device, first click Load from Device and then click Export JSON. Similarly, when importing a JSON file, it only loads that configuration here. It does not save anything to your HID remapper automatically. For that, you have to explicitly click the Save to Device button. Okay, let's try it. I'm going to make some simple configuration just to demonstrate that the export and import works. Let's make some mappings. They don't have to make sense. Say A, B, C, D, E, F. Now let's export this configuration. We can see that it downloaded a file named HID remapper config.json. Now let's delete our mappings and see if we can bring them back by importing the JSON file that we just exported a second ago. Back to the Actions tab, Import JSON, select our JSON file, and we can see that the mappings are now restored. Okay. This is all you need to know about the JSON files if you just want to use them to save the configuration, store it on your computer, maybe send it to someone. You don't need to know anything about what the JSON file looks like inside. But let's take a look anyway. If you've seen a JSON file before, this is not surprising. The file contains all the mappings, all the settings, and macros and expressions in a semi-human readable format. If you have an idea for some complex configuration where you need a lot of mappings, for example, if you're making a completely custom keyboard layout or something like that, editing the configuration using the web interface might not be the most convenient method. If you already have the layout in some format on your computer, you might want to generate this JSON file programmatically and just import it instead of creating the configuration by hand. Hopefully, the format of this file is self-explanatory. Okay, that's it for now. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. For general information about HID remapper, see the project's GitHub repository. Thanks for watching.